Well, hello there guys. So today I'm here to do another pregnancy update, and by another I mean my second one, because I've only done one so far this pregnancy. That's just kind of how things go when you already have 2 kids and you're keeping up with 2 YouTube channels. Things get pretty busy, but I have a lot to update you guys on. Some of it will be a little bit of just like extra information for you if you follow our vlog channel. Some of it will be new information, but a lot has happened in the last few weeks. I am going to be 35 weeks tomorrow, so I am like nearing the end here. But oh, hi Callie. Callie has come to visit. Want to say hi? No? Okay. So like I said, I am 35 weeks pregnant and I am due November 15th with our 3rd little girl. And so far this pregnancy, I've gained about 2 to 3 pounds. Up until the last week or 2, I had gained 0 weight. I had gained and then I lost weight. And that is not because of like anything bad. It's because I've started this pregnancy 50 pounds overweight and I started eating plant-based. So I started eating very healthy, and because of that, I just lost weight. I was not doing any calorie counting, no restricting at all. It's just because of eating cleaner foods and better for you things, I lost weight. And my midwives and my OBs are not worried about it at all. She's been measuring perfectly. I had an ultrasound just to double check and make sure, and she's doing great. So they're not worried about it. It's really just coming down to I'm being healthier. I was already overweight, and so I lost weight instead of gained it. But now I'm like up to like 2 or 3 pounds gained, and so that means though that basically I feel like walking out of the hospital, there's a chance I'll be below my pre-pregnancy weight, like walking out, like probably the minute I birth her. Because right now she weighs like around 5 pounds I think, but that's just her, so that's not including like the amniotic fluid or the placenta, which is quite large. So it'll be interesting to see like what kind of happens, but I've been doing really good and have just been trying to be healthier, and this pregnancy has definitely been very different from the other pregnancies. In the beginning, I think if you guys saw my last pregnancy update, I talked about how my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was affecting me and that it was already causing problems. By 20 weeks, I was already dislocating things just by walking, and switching to a plant-based diet has really helped with that a lot. I saw almost immediately within a couple weeks my dislocations and subluxations started to like drastically diminish. It wasn't until maybe the last month, I would say, that they started to kind of pick up again, just with baby getting so big and putting pressure down on my hips specifically. But with that, I have been getting like this sharp, painful pubic bone pain that I did not get with the girls, and so I started seeing a chiropractor to help with that. I have already seen positive results from it, so that's been nice too. But the one big negative to this pregnancy that has been happening is I'm officially diagnosed with gestational diabetes. For a while, I was just kind of borderline. They kept saying, no, you're borderline, you're borderline. But now I'm officially a yes, you have gestational diabetes. So basically how this came about is I failed my 1-hour test, but I refused to take the 3-hour. The same thing happened with Ari. Failed the 1-hour, passed the 3-hour, barely, and then we were good from there out. The stuff in those drinks are really bad for you, and I didn't want to do the 3-hour. The last time I did the 3-hour with Ari, I almost passed out. So instead I opted to just track my sugars and see what was happening. So in the beginning, they were doing good. My midwives and my nutritionist agreed. I was just borderline. If I'd taken the 3-hour test, I probably would have just passed it, and then they would have been fine, then they never checked again. However, because I opted to just track, I just kept tracking to see how things would go. And over time, when I hit about 32 weeks, I think, my numbers started to climb up. So I was down to only having to track 6 meals a week and 3 fasting numbers a week. In the beginning, I had to do like everything, so 4 times a day, so 3 meals, 1 fasting. So as we started to see my numbers go back up, they asked me to go back to tracking every day. And for a while, my eating numbers were getting really bad, at least what they were before. Obviously, I was doing fine, and then all of a sudden, instead of like randomly I'd have 1, 2, or 3 points over, they were like 10 to 20 points over. And so that was obviously a problem. And from the beginning, the only thing that we really had issues with getting under control was my fasting numbers. But we figured out that if I had a really late night snack, like right before bed, and made sure it was balanced, that my numbers for fasting in the morning would be fine. But in the last week or so, my numbers for my eating have been fine. I've only had like 1 off number, and it was barely over, like 2 over or something. But my fasting has just gotten really bad to a point where it won't get under control with food alone. So they're putting me on medication. I don't have the name of the med with me. I have to actually pick it up today. I had my appointment today where we went over everything. And the med is not metformin. That I've heard really negative things about, and so I was nervous when people were like, oh, I had such a terrible time with that medication. Even my OB, I met with an OB instead of a midwife today, she was even saying the metformin like can cause a ton of stomach issues. But I guess I have this other medication now, I think it starts with a G or something, that she said really has no side effects at all, and they haven't had any GI problems with any of the women on it. So I'm really excited about that, to not have to be on metformin, and they're putting me on the lowest dose to take as late as possible, so like right before bed I'm gonna take it to hopefully help get that fasting number down in the morning. So I'm hoping that it works and that is the case and we don't have to go any higher or get to insulin. She told me for me to get to insulin, like it would take a lot. So she doesn't think I'll end up on insulin, but you never know like where your numbers will go. So along with that though, with being on the medication, I have to start going every week. So we have to get an NST scan for her every week because of the meds, just to make sure she's doing good. And originally she said typically they make you go twice a week for an NST. I'm pretty far from my doctor's office, like 30 to 40 minutes. And so she was totally fine with me just doing once a week. So I'm really glad I advocated for that, to just do once a week with her. And then on top of that, they will throw in some ultrasounds in there to just track how she's growing. So they can't really guess properly with weight. And I think we all know that. They can be off like by a pound, I think, like plus or minus. But they want to check percentile. So she was 60th percentile at her last appointment. So basically what they're going to look for is if she's like now the 80th percentile, that's kind of a concern. So a lot of people don't like realize that with gestational diabetes, it's not just one, it has nothing to do with your diet before or your health before. Like obviously I'm eating super healthy this pregnancy. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your placenta and how your placenta is allowing your body to process and use the sugar that you put in it. And that's why in like 98% of cases or something of women, when they have the baby, it goes away because it was the placenta that was the problem. So along with that, most people kind of associate having gestational diabetes with having a big baby. That is the most common thing that it can cause, but there's other issues associated with that too. And people can give birth to 10-pound babies vaginally and be perfectly okay, but the issue is that when your blood sugar is not regulating itself, it's kind of like it's punching your placenta and like putting your placenta in overdrive, so your placenta is more likely to age faster. So that's one of the concerns, and then also your baby can be born with blood sugar issues. So her size is really the least of my concern when it comes to that. It's more just making sure we get the numbers under control so that my placenta is staying in good shape, and so that also baby comes out and doesn't have any blood sugar issues. That's what's happening. That's the biggest downside. They haven't talked induction at all yet. The only reason they would induce is if your placenta was dying, if baby failed an NST scan. They do further stuff after that failure though, before doing that. Or if baby got like extremely big, which that's something I can fight back on. You know, I've given birth to an 8-pound 11-ounce baby and an 8-pound 10-ounce baby, and so because of that I'm not really scared of bigger babies. And so that is something that I can kind of be like, no, like if that's the only issue, we'll wait a little bit and give my body time to go naturally, because a lot of you guys know my goal this time is to be able to go natural, not have to be induced, not have to have any epidural. But you know, it's frustrating. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm frustrated with my body. I'm not frustrated with my doctors. My doctors are pretty lenient. They aren't super pushy of things. They've let me go like weeks now trying to figure out how to get things under control on my own without meds. And so they've been very accommodating, and they're very natural oriented, and they don't over push medical intervention from what I've experienced so far. There's some parts of it that are like you kind of have to just push back a little bit, but they're very quickly to be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so I appreciate that about them. But there also comes a time when medical intervention does exist for a reason, and there are times when it is needed, and it's a good thing. And so this is kind of like where I'm weighing my pros and cons. So really, number one goal right now is just getting blood sugars under control so we can get baby girl here healthy and safely. And so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna show you guys bump date and then we're gonna go. So this is the bump we are working with right here. So 35 weeks tomorrow. She's doing good. She is head down. OB said that today. So she's got her back here. Her butt is here. So her feet are kind of over here and her head is pretty low down here. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you come back next week because I'm going to be showing you my newborn capsule minimalist wardrobe. A lot of you guys asked to see that, so I'm gonna be showing you specifics, numbers of everything that we have for her for both newborn and 0 to 3 sizing. So behind me though, everything is in these drawers here. If you're not following me on my Facebook page, make sure you do so. I will link the Facebook page down below in my description box for this video because I've been posting videos there. Sometimes you get to see these videos a little bit earlier. Sometimes you get to see other videos. Like this week I put up a video showing you guys what's exactly in the dresser drawers and how I have her organized in our room. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and check it out. Follow my page there so you can see videos maybe a little bit early or extra bonus videos that I put up. And I will see all of your wonderful faces next week. Bye.